Gracias. resolution to make it on to the agenda.
What's the other one?
It
waterfront
is,
stuff.
no,
We did that.
Is it-
approving change orders for the general contractor for town park building.
The lights are changing, on the specs that Ed Lodi made for the improvements. The lights that he put in the specs are no longer happening, they're gonna be recessed lights instead. And the county asks us to do, a change order
Yes.
for it, so
Okay.
this is
So
the change order.
does this tell us how the cost difference?
There is no cost difference.
There, it's gonna be the same. Okay.
Okay. So, a motion to accept it,
Change order.
just a change order.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Second to that, all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, the lights are gonna be
So
recessed.
Danielle, you're
I
keeping
I
track
have
of that,
recessed.
you know what I mean, with all the change orders and whatnot.
That's what's at the county, yeah.
Okay.
Let's jump around here a little bit. Did you folks want to adjust the board for here to,
No, this is.
you're just listening? Okay, well, welcome. Hey, Joe, you want to give us your report?
Sure. Price to do Jameson Hill Road, we're going to do, that's gonna be the one road that we blacktop this year. The reason is, I'm getting prices to do approximately 2,000 feet of guide rail. Which I've been saying I'm gonna do for 10 years now, and there are spots in the town that desperately need it. It's on 5 different roads. I price tomorrow, I was hoping for it today. But that will also be CHIPS money. It will be expensive, but it's needed. Got some roads around Butts Hollow, some places on Stanford, as you go across Sharon Turnpike on your left. Further, obviously. So we'll be sending CHIPS money on one blacktop road, maybe some chip seal, I don't know yet, and a couple thousand feet of guide road. We're done grading the first round on April 30th, which is probably the soonest we've ever got it done. It was just the last 2 weeks of March helped. They were basically warm, dry. We're capping roads, which we do every year. We're using item 4 to do it with a mix. Right now we're on Sutton and Tower Hill. We're also enlarging our drainage areas on our blacktop roads, which is usually we're mired on the dirt roads because the drainage ditches keep filling and filling and filling and filling from the road. So over the years, I've tried to get to a few each year. We still have 35 miles of blacktop road, so that's where we are this summer. We'll be changing out some pipe on Jameson Hill. We'll be changing out some pipe on other roads designated. There's a culvert that the engineers are looking at for me on Oak Summit. It's not the large one that we have grant for. It's a smaller one. On a 90-degree turn. I've been there 60, 70 years.
Where, Joe?
Oak Summit. Oak Summit. On the same road as we're doing the one at the end, Air Canby, but
All right,
anyway, we're looking at it, the engineers are looking at it to see if I gotta do anything with it, because I'm not gonna blacktop the road until, we get a good grade on it, or, I know we have to do something with the head walls, they're shot, but, we'll see. Also, I'd like to get permission to go out to bid to replace truck number 2, which is a sander. As we discussed a few years back, I'm trying to use the smaller trucks for our dirt roads. We now have 2 of them on the dirt roads, which basically do most of them. Hopefully, it will continue to be done this way. What we're going to do is we need to replace 4 of the larger trucks instead of 7. Right now, we have 7. I don't think we need 7. They're highway plows, they're 5 foot 8 inches tall, they're over 2,000 pounds. We just don't need them for these dirt roads and some of our smaller blacktop roads. So this one, however, is a large truck. I'll find the money, I'll let you know where. I might use some CHIPS money, hopefully I'll have some money in the B fund. But I need your permission to go out to bid.
How old is number 2?
Oh, God, I think it's a 2001.
Wow.
And it's out of Band-Aids. Well, there's 3 is, I think, a 2000. But that's in a little better shape. But
And this is the big truck.
yeah, it's one of the big Sanders, dump Sanders, but, we just bought a dump truck and a 3500, without having to borrow any money. So see how it goes this year, see what we can come up with. Look at those to find some money.
All right.
And, that's where I'm gonna try to do it. I might use some CHIPS money. I might, have to borrow a little bit, we'll see.
Okay,
But I'll let you know as we go. And I'll work off of a government contract or a government bid.
So you're looking for another 3,500 or one of those?
No, it's
50?
one of the larger
Yeah,
Sanders.
yeah.
But like I said, we've got 7. I don't think we need 7. And the next 2 next one that gets replaced will definitely be replaced with a smaller truck. And as the other 2 wear out and fade out, you won't be replacing them unless, the new board or whatever you guys decide down the road that you want to keep these larger trucks. Okay.
So you're getting rid of a larger one, replacing it with a smaller one.
No, I'm replacing one of the
Replacing
larger
larger.
ones with a larger one.
You are.
Yeah, but I've already replaced 2 with the smaller ones.
Okay.
The 2 just haven't died yet.
All right.
So we're keeping them. I'm not putting any money into them. As long as they're operable, I'm not gonna junk them. We have junked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things so far.
Yeah. Okay.
So just let you know.
okay.
All right, can I get a
Do
motion?
we need a motion to?
Yes.
have-
Yep.
I'll make that motion.
Need a second?
it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Appreciate it.
Got it.
Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Joe, how long at the current rate before you guys are spaced out of your current garage?
I
Where do you are?
guess maybe 10 years ago. Thanks for bringing it up. We had an offer from the county to look at their spot down there. I keep driving by it. It's on Oak Summit Road. Maybe it's time to talk to them again and see.
Why, are they thinking of moving out of there?
Well, no, I'm not thinking of it. That's not up to me.
No,
They're not
no.
moving.
They would-
No, they're not moving.
Oh, they-
They had offered us a spot next to that.
I
There's
got
some issues that we didn't really get into, but maybe we should. They wanted to share the salt shed. I didn't think that was a good idea, but, maybe, with the necessity that we certainly have over there, that maybe it's time to start revisiting it and or think about it another site, because that site over there is just not.
Yeah,
It's
Been on our
worth-
wish
that
list
site,
forever.
The town of Washington owns that site. That site is probably worth a good deal of money. It's in the RMF zone, I believe.
yeah.
It's probably worth a good buck. Although the county offer was a 99-year lease for $1 or for free, so.
That was for us to put our
Our own
building up.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I'm building them. yeah.
Right.
So it's probably time. We're 10 years older now and the floors are gone and the boiler runs 20 hours a day in the winter. There's no insulation, there's no windows
Yep.
of any, insulating factor, so. But we'll see.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, thank you.
Lois?
Bank reconciliations are done for March and I started working on April. I provided you, as usual, with the balances of the checking and savings accounts. Transfer station invoicing and receipts are posted. The monthly revenue from the Justice Court, the building department and the town clerk's office has been received for April. I submitted the 2024 AFR. I provided each of you with a copy
Mm-hmm.
that summarizes my yearly work.
Yep.
In how many pages?
A lot of,
Yeah.
A lot of pages.
It's in there, last that report that you talked about.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
I attended the Association of Towns Conference 2 weeks ago. You know, a
said
lot
it
of
was
it, I
pretty
know,
informative,
right,
huh?
but it's very informative. They went over, I think I attended maybe 8 classes in the course of the 2 days. They discussed different topics. They'll have a class on fund balance. They actually had a class on the paying the bills. And it was very informative. I did learn quite a bit. You always catch something new, so,
right?
yeah. And then I submitted the registration forms to the New York class. As I prepared my report, we had not had access yet, but before I left this afternoon, they gave me access and I logged in. And it looks like a pretty simple.
They gave me access to.
Yeah.
I didn't log in
I
yet.
was just gonna say, I had an
We all
email
did.
to say that it was set up,
Okay.
so, yeah.
Okay,
That's what, yeah.
I think the right thing to do, if I transfer monies, from some of the accounts, maybe to prepare a form of some type with an approval. I don't wanna have to wait for a meeting, because you might have to transfer it for something within a day. But something, I'll just come up with a form, like maybe Gary
Yeah.
can say, yes, you can transfer this money.
Yeah,
I just don't wanna go in there and.
Didn't we, when we made the motion, we had a list of what you wanted to,
Yes,
so that's
yes, it
fine
was
then,
on there.
Lois, yeah.
Yeah, my first transfer will be the CD that we redid.
Mhm.
So we'll see how that goes. It looked pretty straightforward, looked simple. So, it's a good
the
day.
CD, that's material.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there's another one coming up in June. And then the other 2 CDs we have are permanent. We can't
Can't
touch
change
them.
them.
No,
Okay.
no, they just, we just earn the interest, and the interest goes into the, recognition.
I see.
Right.
So it's a permanent, you can't. But I was even thinking of transferring, I don't have my list with me that I gave you on the form, but like even some monies from the general account. And we don't have to have that all just sitting there. to be
Yeah, because
Right.
something.
you can redeem it pretty quickly, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yep,
One day.
as far as I.
Right.
So I think we will be earning a lot more interest, even if the markets are down or whatever, the treasury bonds are down, we'll still,
Still have some money.
yeah, earn quite a bit more,
Yeah, it's a smart move.
yeah.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
The ban that we approved last meeting for
Mhm.
the Bridge New York. Why, does anybody know why we had to approve it for all of it at once? Was there a reason for that?
We don't
Does
know.
anybody know?
I don't know,
I
I
don't know.
thought the
Was that a
assumption was
requirement
to,
for the grant?
I don't know. When it came time to renew it, realizing we really hadn't used
Yeah,
too much
didn't-
of it, I was wondering.
Should we,
I'm sorry, Joe. Didn't we have to prove or show them that we had the source?
That's what I thought the stipulation was,
I kind of thought that was the case, that we had, like,
but wouldn't we be able to do it in a different manner?
maybe perhaps borrow half of it or something.
Right,
Or the next question is, can we take that money and put it in this higher interest drawing?
I will check on that.
Because the interest.
No, that'd be
is-
great.
The interest is enormous
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
for money that we're not even using.
Not
yet.
even using.
Yep.
I had a thought of, this is just my mind going because of this, I don't know if we would have to pay it off at this point, and because we did renew it, do we, and then take out a much less of a bond? I don't even know,
Yeah,
or ban, sorry, it's a
Yeah.
ban.
yeah,
Yeah, I just thought, well, I thought that we would be using this money. I thought we'd be in construction phase. I don't know. And
okay,
now I guess.
How
we're
do
not
we
going
find
to
out for
a
sure?
while.
yeah, like, we can check with, DOT, right? Don't we have a contact?
Yep, I can check
And
with
to
Giselle
see
and
if-
Danielle, like, do we have to have this money here? Or can we get some,
Interest, yeah.
Or
yes,
can we
I
borrow
invest
half,
in it?
or
Can I invest it?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, can I?
right
come in
now and then
take
borrow
half
next?
And have some sort of guarantee from the bank that we would certainly get, you know, an increase, you know, another ban or increase it as we need it.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So
okay,
we'll, you know, between Chrissy and I, whatever,
Yeah,
we'll
let
talk
us
to the
know.
bank and see what we can do, and I'll contact Giselle and Danielle
Yeah.
from
okay,
the DOT's office.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lisa,
Yes, good evening.
good evening.
All right, so we have a lot of transition right now since just finished the roll. Impact notices for valuation increases and decreases were mailed out. Not all towns do decreases, but I do have a handful of them that go out. People get them. We do not send them out for others that don't have any changes. Even though the equalization rate did change, as you know. Rejection notices were sent out on April 30th. They have almost a month to respond to those. We already have some of them that people are responding to and bringing, you know, the paperwork in for that. I don't think it's a lot. Actually, did you see what it was, Doug? How many she had on the list? Maybe
I didn't see.
6, 8, maybe?
Rejections for what?
Rejections, ag exemption.
Ag,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Mostly people late. So, yeah, just, you know, we're trying to get them to do stuff on time because that's the law. So at least they still have that option to go to grievance, which usually isn't an issue, but we really don't want them doing that. So it's an extra step for us, but it's also more time and effort on their behalf. And so hopefully each year it seems to get a little better. So we'll hope that that goes smoothly as we, you know, move on. I mean, historically, they didn't handle that as aggressively as we do, but it's a lot, so. Anyway, so what else? That's it pretty much for rejections. You know, and other people just not meeting the income for senior low income is the other reason that we reject people. Those went out earlier, so there's not much to agree on as far as that's concerned. Final roll, yep, completed. It's available online. The public can get to it through our website or through the county. There's also a roll book in the clerk's office and upstairs that shows the changes, and that'll be available all year. And then looking at the final roll book, we'll have that book available too. Total increases in assessment changes is just under 29.2 million. Which is good. I mean, we had some big projects going on this year, so I had some good chunks of value I was able to add to some of these large houses being developed. Some of them are still in progress, so I expect I'll have quite a few next year. It's slowed down. I believe it looks like some of the new construction slowed down a bit.
For, for complete new construction, yeah. A lot of renovations and additions right now. So not too many new construction homes.
Yeah,
Lisa,
a lot of
how-
renovation going on though, still.
How much of an increase was that over last year's assessed value?
I don't know the answer to that. I can let you know. I can email you and let you
You said
know.
it was
I don't,
How much?
29.2.
29 two, I don't, it was not that high last year. I did not have all the new construction last year that I did this year. Don't expect that will persist either, because, you know, we had some really huge projects that have been going on the last couple of years, but we have a few still, you know, to finish, so I still expect next year I'll get a good chunk of value again.
Anything going on in Mavisville Road, just out of curiosity, you know? with
Not
the-
yet, that I'm aware of.
Okay.
You're referring
Is
to,
that-
Johnson,
Yeah.
yeah, you haven't had any permits come into that since they
No.
demoed it, have they?
Only the demo, nothing new since the
Okay.
commission.
So I would imagine it's gonna come at some point,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Grievance Day is Tuesday, May 27th, right after Memorial Day weekend. So it's a bit late this year, later than it usually is, and, we've consolidated the hours from 4 to 8 versus having 2 sessions. It's just easier and, you know, it's not a crazy busy time with grievances, so it's better to just kind of clump it all together. We'll be in this room or upstairs, depending on if the courtroom's available, depending on what their load is for the court that night.
You changed the hours, didn't you, to the
Yeah, 4 to 8.
4 days?
Yeah, usually we go 2 to 4 and 6 to 8, so we're gonna just go straight from 4 to 8
Yeah.
for the 4 hours. Yeah, and by appointment, so if people have to grieve, I do prefer them to have appointments, so we can get everything, all the papers and organized in a row, it's just
Sure.
easier. And, I think the people like, you know, prefer to do it that way too.
Mm-hmm.
So we do it in 15-minute increments.
Lisa, how many,
Yes.
you just, top of your head, when you have grievance day, let's say 10 people come in and grieve, how many end up going to court? Or further than what you try to,
Yeah, we don't get a lot of people that go to court. I mean, there's some years we've had, you know, well, I take
just
that
give
back.
it an idea,
There's
just.
small claims court, yes.
Mhm.
I do get, but those are not
Yeah.
as hard to settle, so that doesn't require a lawyer usually. But yeah, like Aventine, I end up in court almost always with, you know, small claims court with them. Because they're Aventine, that's the company that does the mass mailings to everybody and,
Oh,
but they don't do their homework. They, you know, their comps are horrible, so taking them on is pretty much what all of our assessors do, because otherwise they'll just keep pushing to get business in our area if we don't
yeah,
fight back,
yeah.
so.
I think we all get letters.
Yeah, I think everybody gets them, but it just, but people are better off coming to me and talking to me because the Aventine stuff is just, it's frustrating because they don't, you know, they have so many people, they really don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Or, you know, yeah, so. But actually court appearances are now back to being in person, which is actually a good thing. So that kind of makes it harder for them because they're in Long Island. So. We'll see how
Good,
that
thank
goes
you.
going forward. Yep. All right, so we have for grievances so far, a few of the ags, which I mentioned already. And McDale, which I knew was gonna be coming, so I'm gonna try to do my best to work that out. Or I'll be sending that over to you, Kyle. Cause that's a big one, so,
On the castle property?
yeah, it's sold at auction. So, which is not considered a valid sale.
So, okay,
But-
that's what I was gonna ask you, because it's sold at auction, it's sold for less than what the assessed value is that correct? That's why they
Yes,
take, that's
like
why they do
half.
that. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I recall that.
Yeah, it's not arm's length, but,
Mhm.
I won't say anything further.
Okay.
So I'm meeting with the attorney that's representing them tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes.
Who's that?
Sean Pratt.
Okay.
So yeah, we should
Yeah,
probably be
okay.
moving you into that pretty soon.
I just looked at it.
Look at that. Hey.
All right, and then, sales for March, little light, you know, at this time of year, it's, you know, just starting to pick up. Outside the town, we had 3, 1 was vacant land, and 2 were residents, and no sales in the village for March. For my reviews, for March is 89. 3 sales reviews, again, sales reviews are kind of more clumped into the fall time, but I still review them sometimes as I go along based on what else is going on with that property. Data collection, parcels and site count for Michael 22 and 26. Claire, I had to estimate since she left before I put this report together. So I just kind of used my best guess on what I know she gave to me. Through the month, which, is light. So that's it for me. Any questions?
Good
So
report.
with Claire's absence, are you gonna seek somebody to replace her, or are you gonna?
Yes.
You are? Okay.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we gotta keep the ball rolling. I mean, we still got a lot of work to do. So,
Fine.
yes, that's the plan. In light of new hires and some changes that have gone on, I did make a proposal that I reviewed with Doug and Chrissy this week, which I believe you're gonna be looking at in executive session. I hope you seriously consider them. We have a lot of work to do, and I've got a good team. And we do need to hire somebody else. It's not an easy position to fill. I think it's a fun job, but it's still.
Is anybody that's on board, would they be able to increase their hours versus?
No, I
No.
mean, they're semi-retired.
Okay.
That's why
So
they're
they like their-
semi-retired. This is
They like that.
just something to
Okay.
give them something to do that's,
I see.
yeah, but no. If both of them, Kathy nor Michael, are interested in any more hours.
I see.
So. But they work hard in the 15 hours a week that they're there. They really do. They're really amazing. So,
All right. Thank you,
all right,
Lisa. Thank you.
anything else? All right, okay, good.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yep. Danielle?
Last night I had a rec commission meeting. We had 4 commissioners present and 2 absent, along with town board representative Mike Murphy. The CDBG grant, we have all the HVAC in, we have the handicap parking spots set. Skylar has moved the dirt that was left over from VAD. And it looks beautiful. He seeded everything and he's done a great job.
Good.
He's also moved the water lines so that we can have all season water in the building.
Mhm.
And that was, it was difficult times for that, but he's managed it and it looks good. Summer hiring, as you know, the interviews for camp are complete. I'm still looking for lifeguards. If anybody wants to apply for that, that's great.
Okay.
I'll look
Think you
into
can
it.
pass it, yeah? You think you can pass the test?
Of course
you could.
As far as
Yeah.
camp is concerned, so far we only have 49 campers registered, 3 pre-K camp registered and 2 C2Cs, but I'm sure that will go up. Everybody's still not thinking that way yet. Camp is June 30th through August 8th, 9 to 12 as usual. We're gonna have some entertainment, magicians, the Sharon Audubon will be there, and we have 4 different after camp camps that they can also do, so it can extend their day a little bit. The seniors have 2 trips. There's the Lake George trip and casino. They are loving the casino trip. They're ready for it. There's 17 people signed up for the casino, and that just opened. And there's 19 for Lake George, but I'm still
Which
waiting
casino you go to?
What was that?
Which casino you go to?
The Catskill one. They're the ones that give the most, so they give $25 of casino money and $15 of food money.
Oh, wow.
So everything's done through the bus company and it's pretty easy, we'll see.
Yeah.
They like here at casino, they're ready to go. I'm not quite sure if everybody knows about the Department of Health permits that we need. And Doug, since you're new, I thought I'd bring it up this year. So in order for us to run camp, have our drinking water and have a swimming pool, they each have their own Department of Health permits that you have to do. So all of those have been submitted. One has been accepted already for the water. There's a bunch of paperwork that has to go with camp and pool, so they have to know the lifeguards and their certifications, and some of them still need extra certifications, like if you had a lifeguard certification last year, every year you need a CPR certification, so Tuesday will be certification for those lifeguards, but we have an awful lot of new ones coming, and some of them are not happening until June. So I have to keep going with the Department of Health for that. Also, there's a lot of background checks. There's about 2 to 3 just sex offender background checks, and they only allow you to make phone calls at certain times, and you can only do 5 people at a time for it. So just getting a phone call in. Today I tried for about 2 hours. I only got 1 phone call in that accept 5 people at a time. There's like 25 people that I have to
Oh,
accept.
that's crazy.
And pavilion rentals. So far we have 12 pavilion rentals.
Okay.
And Chrissy is one of them. Thank you, Chrissy.
Yes, welcome, Mary.
So we hope to get a lot more of those too. And that's it.
Fantastic.
Any questions?
No,
Great, thank you.
thank you. Matt,
All right, the park septic. On Wednesday, April 30th, Wyatt Houston surveyed the park and laid out the new septic field. Superior is starting on Monday. It'll take them a week.
awesome.
The roof project is complete. That building has new soffits, fascias, ice and water shield, and charcoal black shingles.
Thank you for that.
Took me about, I have the hours written down, but probably a week, probably 40 hours. Tables and grills. I put together all the tables that Danielle has ordered. I also removed 6 of the old grills, put them in the dumpster with the roofing material.
How many?
6 of them, the old chimney
The
style.
old
Yeah.
chimney side,
Wow.
cement ones.
The new grills are set in concrete. So they're all, I have to install 2 more, but Skylar dug a trench. So we're gonna put one at that building as well.
And they rotate.
Fantastic.
The fence at the sand filter, I demoed it out with the tractor myself. And then on Thursday, April 10th, Superior Fence installed a new chain link fence, 12-foot opening, 20 feet either side of the filter. That's all taken care of.
That's great.
The park now has internet, now at the snack bar and the lifeguard shack.
Okay,
They
Right.
installed that on Friday, April 25th.
Hmm.
I built them shelves for all their equipment. Town hall windows. We met with Chris Haynes on April 21st, confirmed the windows and the stain color. I met on Monday, May 5th with the installer and confirmed all the dimensions of all the windows. Had to measure every one, make sure. That lead time from Monday is 6 to 8 weeks. So
okay,
we're
Oh,
down
wow.
in the middle of June.
okay,
That's a long weekend by winter.
yeah.
So what do we know kind of an idea's install date then?
Not until
July. Sometime in July.
June.
You think the install will still be in June? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's a little earlier than I thought. Okay. Alright.
Oh, the park sheds. The shed was delivered, the first one on April 16th. The Skag and the tractor in there right now. And then in front of you should be the second voucher for the second shed.
Right.
Okay.
Today, CMJ was at the park. There was a large Norway maple by the Lower Pavilion, had a pretty good crack in it. And it was
Right.
dying. They cut that out of there. A small maple behind that and an ash tree, and they're gonna grind the stumps on Monday. And then the town pool. I've raked it twice. John and I set the tarp this morning for the pond. I also went and reset the posts in the swimming area with concrete and gravel.
What did you, excuse me, Matt, what did you say about the tarp?
There's a tarp at the spillway. It's basically a 2x6 with a tarp and a metal
To
signpost.
keep the water
We
high.
put that in the spillway to
Oh.
raise the pond level to fill the.
Okay,
And then Tim Race will be there on Monday to take care of the sand filter. I'll start filling the pool Monday afternoon.
Yeah, a tough time. That grass kept growing like crazy.
Yeah. And it's been raining.
It raining.
And that's it.
We have out here in the front, remember we took a couple of small trees down that that had little headstones on them that in memoriam of. Is this a good time to replant, or should that be done like in the fall, or can it be done anytime?
I would say anytime.
Spring.
Yeah,
Now's a good time to.
Now's a good
Yes.
time, before it gets really hot.
Yeah,
Yeah, I talked to Mike Herzog, particularly about the tree that used to be down at the end of the sidewalk.
yeah,
And he came back with a couple of recommendations on trees, but in conversation with staff, we thought maybe down there, instead of trees, put the hydrangea tree, which is a little bit
Yeah.
lower and it flowers. And then where this other tree was not getting enough sun, which was planted years ago, that it was an evergreen at one time. We
Right.
took that down.
Yep.
That may be a difficult place to replace that tree. So maybe we can take the one plaque that was for that tree and put it for one of those hydrangeas.
good idea.
And then the other plaque for
Right.
for the memorial for Michelle.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's a nice idea. Yeah.
So if you wanted to go up to one of the tree people in the community and ask them to come down, take a look, give us a projected cost, I can do that.
Sure.
I have a hydrangea tree in my backyard. Positively gorgeous.
Is it-
Yeah.
Makes
And you
sense,
have, they last forever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where the
Okay.
tree for Michelle that was cut out, we discovered that there was a white wire line where the roots were. And Jonathan and I went out and took a look at it. We don't believe it's to anything. Maybe at one time there was a spotlight down there, but it doesn't seem to be connected to anything. So we just left it in the ground. We didn't bother digging it up, but
The only thing with it has to be pruned every year, but. other than
Yeah.
Yes,
that,
yeah.
Yeah,
Just like the ones on the
The more you
sidewalk.
cut them, the more
Yeah,
full
more,
they
yeah.
get.
And then the hydrangeas on the sidewalk out front too, they need to be shaped up.
Is that plaque is still out there?
Yes, it's in the corner.
Maybe it's too shady.
Don't like having her either.
Matt, thank you.
Pruned it.
Oh,
Appreciate
can
it.
I just interject on the windows too, that we're gonna be doing the floors in the assessor's office too, not in the meeting room, but in mine, because that carpet should have been changed.
When is that
10
gonna
years
be
ago.
done?
Well, since we have to make so much space for them to do the install, we need a minimum of 6 feet back.
Yep.
I think he said 6 or 7 feet back. We have to empty that room out anyway. So, we're gonna do a vinyl plank floor over the existing floor. Instead of refinishing the floor it's gonna need a lot of work. It's gonna take a good chunk of time. The vinyl plank is nice. It's pretty reasonable. It'll last a long time.
Yeah, easy to clean.
Yeah, I don't wanna do the carpet again.
Yeah,
If
good.
we find an issue with the noise, we could maybe get a couple like throw rugs for like where the desk areas are, so you don't hear the bowling. We'll have to see. You'll have to let us know if that's an issue. So.
That's what I'm writing down here.
Oh.
Where's that coming from?
Oh, wait, flooring? Yeah, no,
She's got it, she checked her.
Yeah.
Already.
yeah, and it's
Okay.
not very expensive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you were thinking what, maybe $1,500 maybe if even?
You get that far.
Yeah, it shouldn't be bad.
The
So
vinyl.
I have, look, I knock on wood, I haven't had to spend money this year and that's hopefully no emergencies
I
will
did
come
one
up.
of those.
So I'm hoping we just take it out of mine.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
They put it on top of anything. Stone, rug.
I was
That
supposed to put that
Huh?
ARPA money, but we spent the
Yeah.
ARPA money, so.
Um,
And then some.
There's a few little critters in there.
It's not, it's really
John.
not, but
All right, so for building department for April, 32 inspections and site visits were conducted, 11 building permits were issued, none renewed. 6 certificates of occupancy were issued, 8 certificates of compliance. There were 11 expired building permits at the end of April, again, like every month, they all got notification. All have to come in and renew. 2 cases of fire inspections being overdue. For complaints for building only, I had issued a compliance order remedy for a property on 82. Not sure how many people noticed it, heading towards Burbank. They have a garage that's basically falling in on itself. It's an unsafe structure. And massive amount of garbage bags piled up behind it.
Yep.
So they've been issued a compliance order, 30 days. If they don't respond, we progress from there. For zoning, 5 municipal searches were requested and completed, 3 site visits conducted, 2 FOIA requests were received and completed in April. There were no new zoning complaints in April, but there are a few prior complaints that are reaching the deadline for the orders that were issued to them. So they will be getting further notification and if required, whatever action we got to take. Yep. Tyler, you are for that now too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you sound excited?
So there'll be a few, I think I might have to reach out to you for to see what our next steps after that can be because they choose not to listen to the compliance orders.
Yeah, we also, I think we're gonna have to talk about the Cicadia thing.
Yes. Yep, they've been notified of what they were supposed to do and have not done or responded to anything, so.
Good, okay.
They've been notified. That's one of the ones that are on that list of ones that need to get taken care of.
All right.
So,
Yeah, reach out, let's touch base early next if that's suitable for you.
okay, perfect. Actually, because I probably give you a call in the morning if you're available, because there's a couple things I want to talk to you about.
I am after, I have a 9:30, so if you want to call me like late morning,
Perfect.
you got it.
Sounds good, guy. Other than that, that's it. Oh, the other one I forgot to call and report was, which I know you guys all know about, is the Burbank Road complaint that I received about the county
Yes.
work.
And we're,
Oh, yeah.
we're aware.
So Joe, before he left, I think I forwarded it to you guys, I think he forwarded it to you guys as well, where his determination on that was, where really it's up to you guys if we wanted to pursue it.
Well, it's not our concern.
That's
I mean,
kind of
why
my
would we
thing on it,
wanna
is
be
I feel
involved
like
in
that supersedes us. So,
And we have enough on our plate.
yeah. You know, that's county and state. I'm sure they did their due diligence. I'm sure they did their environmental review.
That's
I'm
fine.
sure they did everything they had to do.
Yep.
So, the property owner's attorney's privy to all the information as well, so
Yep.
that's where that one stands.
I mean, they've known about it for a long time.
Yeah,
You know,
it didn't just happen.
now all of a sudden it's crunch time.
Yeah,
you know.
you know, and that's the thing is I get it for them. It's a historical looking bridge, but there's a reason they don't build them like that anymore.
Right.
It's not gonna be a stacked stone
Exactly.
bridge abutment.
Yep.
Sorry. So that's where we are with that one.
Do we have any idea on time when they're gonna start doing that so that the signs are revealed and so on?
We're up.
The
They're just
last,
covered.
I know they're up, but
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
covered.
Yeah.
the last conversation I had with them was that it was gonna be this construction season, but I don't know anything further than that, any
Okay,
specific dates.
because people in South Road have been asking me.
Yep.
What do you think?
Originally, I thought it was supposed to be last summer, so they tabled it already for a year, I think, so.
Yeah, there was a delay in getting the permits and all that, and then the
Okay.
construction season was gonna be this year.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Johnson.
Does he stay for, discussing anything? Do you need, him to do that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It will be all right.
Okay.
Yeah. Tony, did you have a report for us?
I do a short one. Good news, absolutely 0 emergency calls recently, so seems like everything's going pretty smoothly.
Okay.
Just 2 kind of important things to announce is, I've been in touch with the SPCA, HVARs and Tractor Supply, and I don't know who's going to be handling this or if we can get it done, but we are having a pretty serious issue in the village and town with feral cats. So looking to get a spay neuter program for a day, for village and town residents to be able to bring in animals if they can, at no expense to the town. So hopefully next month we'll have something to report on that, and progress should go. We'll see who bites on it. I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
But And then the second thing is, we had our, state audit from, agriculture markets of New York, for the dog control position. And everything was found to be, in compliance, the equipment, all the paperwork, everything. So we were very happy if that all went smooth. And that's pretty much all I have, other than, Jonathan just left, but on a more personal note, I do want to extend my condolences to the town and all of the family members for Dora
Oh,
Alonso's
thank you.
passing.
Very nice.
She was a staple of this town, that's for sure.
Yeah.
99 years old.
That's amazing.
Nice, Tony.
Yeah, it's very thoughtful.
Dora Alonso.
So speaking of animal control, I passed a restaurant with their dumpster open and it was covered with vultures. We're having the problem with the
Yeah.
vultures in the
Yeah.
village. It
Yeah.
was covered. I should have taken a picture of it.
Oh, no.
But that's part of the reason why they were attracted to coming here is because of that. So I'm wondering if we can put out some sort of a, keep your dumpsters closed. You know what I mean? There should be common sense.
Right.
There's
But
been an
it was
ongoing issue with
covered.
that for several years now, and Tim Colby and myself have discussed it before, and I've discussed it with Peter more recently. And we can do some things which we're looking forward to. Gonna buy, probably, hopefully, the village will buy a high-powered green laser that we can haze them
This
off.
restaurant was in the town, however.
Okay, it was, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk to you about that after the meeting,
Mhm.
sometime, but.
Yeah.
Another part is they roost here and they're causing a lot of problems on the buildings because they actually pick asphalt shingles in the buildings and they cause a lot of
Wow.
structural damage as well as just defecating on all kinds of stuff. People have been sending me pictures of their cars that are just covered. It's
It's a
terrible.
problem.
So, but, that's all I have.
So keep us posted on that, all right, that issue.
Will do.
All right, thank you. Tony.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Good night.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Good
Chrissy?
night. Okay, so for the month of April, we brought in $243.50 in dog licenses, $401 for vital records, $2,186 for transfer station, that's permits and punch cards. For hunting licenses, $360, so that was a total for the month of $3,190.50.
Wow.
What else? So we also sent out the transfer station renewal forms. The transfer station permits expire on June 30th. So we sent those out. We also, the tax accounts for April have all been reconciled. The checks have been sent to the county bookkeeper, supervisor. I also this Tuesday that just passed, I went to a civil service training in Dutchess County. It was really HR oriented, a lot of, for our civil service employees.
Oh,
So it
yeah.
was really, it was really good. It was, I met a lot of other town clerks there, so it was really good for networking
Good,
and
yeah.
very informative. So next time, what happened with Jonathan will happen, because now we have an idea what we need to do. And Lois and I are gonna go to a training in June, right?
Yeah.
And it's for, or is it,
I don't know.
I don't know, it said Fishkill, it's for bonds and prevailing wages, a whole
Okay.
bunch of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
And, I think that's about it for me.
thanks, Chrissy. Mike,
As you know, there's been a turnover of the court clerk position. Or resigned and took another position. Chrissy acted very quickly along with Judge Poles, and they posted it. And within days, we had a substantial number of applications for the part-time position for the court. And Judge Poles did the interviewing and has accepted an individual that will be starting on the 27th. Is that correct, Chrissy?
Correct.
In the interim, the court obviously is backing up because the person that gave the 2-week notice that has come to fruition, so there's a gap. So Chrissy emailed me today and the suggestion was to ask Carol Pauls to call, Dell, is that her name?
Ariel Bryant.
Ariel.
Yeah.
And see if they have within their structure, she oversees the courts.
Oh.
People to come in and kind of fill this position until the 27th. Because attorneys aren't going to wait and all the petitions aren't going to wait and police officers aren't waiting and the mailbox is full and some of the documentation is backing up. Although Chrissy and Kristen offered to help a little bit, it's overwhelming. So they have to concentrate on their work. So the suggestion is Carol's got to speak up to them and see if they have some coverage.
Okay.
There may be somebody in another court that works in the afternoon that could come in here in the morning and just keep it flowing until the permanent part-time person comes on board. Court revenue. It came to Lois and my attention as we looked at the report that I was giving on a monthly basis. That is sent to us by the comptroller after we send to them the total amount of fees that have occurred. That I was reporting that the town got X dollars and the village got $0. And the first month it seemed appropriate. The second month, questionable. The third month, very questionable. So we went and looked at the records that were kept by the clerk. The fines against village were appropriately on the report that is sent to the comptroller. But somewhere up there, we believe that they're not telling us appropriately. So rather than wait till December and they discover it and call us up and say, you know, that $55,000 you got, well, 30 of it goes to the village and have to go through all of those ramifications. We're going to try and reach out up there and see what's going on. We didn't want to raise a red flag, but it seemed to be not appropriate. So something fell off somewhere. Whether it's a coding up there, whether it's a miscommunication, whether I even asked our clerk, did the comptroller's office make a change in how town courts got monies if they're the only court in the area and they handle a village? And she said she never had any kind of communication.
Did the special prosecutor ever change the, remember we talked about that documenting on the.
If there's how you can help me, if there's a fine that goes against the driver, let's say, before they come into the court, they meet with the prosecutor and they negotiate.
Right.
And then it might go from speeding to improper sticker, which might have a different level of fine.
Right.
But the fines that we collect are the dollars that get reported to the comptroller's office. So yes, there is some negotiation that occurs, but they also have a book. The judge has a book that tells them what ranges those fines can go. So
I think, is that what you're talking about, Gary? Or were you talking about the issue from in the past?
In the past.
In the past, where we had the fill-in judge.
oh, that got reconciled. That time when we had a gap between Betsy and Judge Pauls, and we had a substitute judge come in.
Right.
That was a mixture, but they finally got that reconciled. Chrissy did an excellent job on that.
Yeah, the book is kind of like the Bible, right?
Yeah, the book, maybe yellow book or something. And then also Judge Pauls notified us last week that remember I had brought that she might be held up in a case in her legal office and we needed a substitute judge come in. Her case got closed, so she was able to tell that other judge she wasn't needed, so we didn't have to go through that.
That's good.
South Road. There has been some automobile vandalism on South Road. If you go down South Road now, you'll see that there are tire marks of donuts occurring at every intersection from 82 down to 44. It happened 2 Sundays ago at about 7 o'clock at night. One of my neighbors down at the bottom of the hill on my side ran out there, but by the time he got there, the vehicle was gone, but tire smoke was all over the place. So Mike Woods, Sergeant Woods, who handles all the traffic delegation of state police, I spoke with him. He's going to put his people on it. They also, and it's probably youth, they also took some of those signs that are up, that are still veiled for the bridge.
Oh.
And they twisted them a little bit and tilted them a little bit. So the state police are aware they are gonna be monitoring that, but, it's copycat stuff. They
Yeah.
see it happening in Westchester and New York City, and they're doing it up here. From the wheel dimension, it looks like it's a smaller car. It's not a pickup or an SUV, a big SUV. It looks like it's a smaller kind of Honda, maybe that kind of wheel thing. But Sunday afternoon, 7 o'clock.
Is this happening, in the dark?
No, it's happening in the light and the dark.
So maybe the police are on it, but there's always cameras that people have, their doorbell cameras. that-
Yeah, I'm sure the state police will
Check
help
it
you
out.
with that. But the other thing too was the concern, because at one of the horseshoe intersections, they spun it so far off the pavement that they literally almost went down in the culvert on the opposite side of South Road and all of that
Yeah.
wetlands, forested area. So, and sometimes and they also speed, again, Joe brought this up a number of months ago, they're still speeding on that road.
Oh, yeah, that happened when they were doing the culvert on 44.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Last thing, I'm seeking approval from this full board to develop a strategic planning committee that will develop a master plan for the recreation facility up in Mappetsville. And we'll also add in, looking at, in that plan, look at the use of the village gymnasium for recreation purposes. And it's not program focused. It will
Not
be,
program.
it will be structure focused. It will be land focused. And it's just like you asked about the highway department barn. Nobody's fault, but Mappetsville has aged out terribly. And over the years, and I asked Lois to do a report, and not to shock anybody, but since July of 23, to April 25, we've patched up there $388,901 worth of unexpected cost. Now, the grant is included in that, but we had to do that because of air conditioning and heat. Water is an issue, water. So mirroring what we all know is happening up there, I want to put together a committee. So I spoke to Bob already. He and I will co-chair that. There are several individuals of high expertise in their fields that have agreed to be on this committee, but we want business people that understand engineering, understand all of the needs up there, whether it's concrete, pavement, water, electric, structures, rather than keep duct taping and gluing. We don't want to have a building inspector come in 2 years from now and say, well, that foundation in the big building is starting to fail, and we put on a new roof, we put air conditioning, we put heating in there. So we need to jump on this. And the purpose of this will be to develop a 2-year plan, a 5-year plan, and a 10-year plan. And then that will help Lois in the budget process
Sure.
to know what anticipated cost will be.
Plus, we think that if we start paying attention up there, start fixing the place up,
Right.
or that we could increase the use. Because we constantly hear from people that they don't want to swim up there because can't see the bottom, like Mike says, and
We're also looking at, on this strategic planning committee would be a marketer and someone who can give us guidance. And it may also require us to maybe go out for a grant and get a consultant that designs recreation areas to come in and tell us what's needed. Jonathan and I went into the files in his office, and we went back to 1938. There was an aerial plot view of Diedrich's at the time, and there was a sanded area and a swimming area. I was trying to determine what was it before that, and we could only get back to 38. As the well people and Skylar doing the water to emergency fix the well, He went down 4 feet and immediately hit water that just bubbled up out of the ground. So our speculation is, and this is not official, but an engineer might reveal this, that perhaps around that entire skirt of the swimming pools, the swimming area, is clay that may have been intentionally put in there to maintain the water in the swimming area. But what happens is that slope in the back brings the water down, and it all congregates, we believe, entirely around that entire pool. So that's why the grass is always green, but that's why it stays
Well, you
soft
can't-
during droughts, and you
Right.
can't even mow.
Right, somebody
You sink
can't mow
in.
it. It's a
So that's
lower
what the
sink.
strategic planning committee will look at, and they will develop a master plan that will take it 2 years, 5 years, 10 years into the future.
Good idea.
Yeah, and you know, Mike and I also talked that eventually, maybe instead of having the big pond, that we've actually put a big concrete pool in.
Amen.
But that's what the
Because
strategic
like Mike
planning.
said, there's a big giant one down in East Fishkill or,
I Googled,
Yeah.
urban swimming pools in the area, and Beacon has one that's
Beacon,
140 feet by 50 right now. And I understand Millerton has been working with the Community Foundation, gotten some grants. They're looking to do a similar kind of thing. That's why people in our community go to Timor because of the swimming facility there. Plus, and this is nobody's fault, but things have changed. Electricians have changed techniques. Plumbers have changed techniques. Equipment has changed. The people that we had fixing this and doing this in the past were doing a good job. It's just that we've outgrown it and it's aged.
Mhm.
So if you think 1938, the upper
Yeah. It's
pond
a-
we know has to be dredged, the spillway,
it's
the
a,
filtration system.
it's a high maintenance facility.
It is. But you want to get a return on investment. So if you're going to put 6, 7 figures in there, you want to make sure it's attractive to the community.
Yeah, of
I
course.
think you better think 7, 8. if you're
Yes,
thinking
that's what we're
about a
thinking.
pool.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Well,
Bottom line.
And that's what
I
they'll
mean,
come back
that's
with.
pie in the sky.
This
you know,
group will come back with recommendations. I even investigated with Marist College. I talked to a representative there. If they have under their nationally known survey, Marist survey group, because my college has a survey group too, and they have subgroups of college students that do internships, and they go into communities and they help them do surveys.
Yeah.
They collect them, they assess them, they report back. Very similar to what the Dyson Group did for the Thorn Building, when we did all of that community, not on that big scale,
Right.
but this
Yeah,
needs
we
to,
went and looked at other,
this needs to be looked at.
there's
This
a
needs
lot
to
of
be looked at.
communities.
Good
And
idea.
then again, you know, the bathroom toilets go, and we try to come up with money, we patch it.
Yeah.
So with your permission, we'll move forward on that.
Oh, by all means,
Okay,
absolutely.
Do we make a motion? Or do we just?
We can.
I'll make it
You want to do that?
that we form a strategic planning committee to develop a master plan to address the Mavisville recreation site and all the it's not program, but all of the uses of the facilities that we make use for our
Second for that
program.
motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good, thanks, Mike.
And that's it for me.
Joe?
Okay, so, Doug is gonna fill us in on what happened with the planning board, but, we, town was represented at this past planning board to seek approval for our intentions for Killen Road. And one thing that came up was that we need to, and I will make a motion for the town to be the lead agency for the SECRA review.
Mhm.
So I'm making that motion now.
Okay,
Second.
Type it as type 1.
Okay.
Second for that motion,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that takes
Yep.
care of business for that.
Yep.
So you're circulating from the agency, just so
Yeah.
this is clear. We're circulating through the agency. The board's typed the action as a type 1 action. And once you're done, there's one other item that we have to discuss on this matter.
Okay, so what is that? Go ahead.
So it was brought to my attention this afternoon that apparently the road, there were what the work's being done is within the 100-foot wetland buffer, which would necessitate an application for a wetland permit,
Okay.
which would, and also that would need to be referred to the DEC, that application would get referred, so either way, it's gotta get referred to DEC.
Mhm.
If, so you can make that application to planning board, but that's, you go through that whole process and procedure where there'll have to be a public hearing and, you know. and-
Yeah, we scheduled the public hearing for June 3rd.
Yeah, this perhaps will be separate from that, because we're gonna need to get, if you go through that process, then you're gonna need to get, you're gonna need to hear back from DEC on the review.
Okay. The EAF formed, the first part of it, and any of the other documents that the planning board requested from Dan Barnum from Colliers was submitted today
Okay,
to the planning board, just so everybody knows
good.
that.
Okay, Jeff.
Um,
All right.
There, an alternative would be, if you didn't want to make the application for the wetlands permit, is to pass a resolution under what's called the Monroe County case, which I use this term loosely, but it doesn't mean, it's not, it shouldn't be taken literal, but essentially exempts towns and municipalities from the applicability of their own zoning laws. That does require a resolution and a finding. There's like 9 factors in that case. And it would require a finding that, you know, it's in the public interest to move forward with that, as opposed to going through the zoning process of making the application for the wetlands permit. That's a decision that, you know, this board can make if that's what it chooses to do. But it probably makes sense to just go forward, I mean, whatever you guys want to do. I mean, I don't see any, unless there's some exigent reason to do that, you could probably just go through the regular process of making the wetlands permit application.
That's your
So what-
recommendation.
Okay, so what do we do for the wetlands application? What is the
The whole process is in the code. There's an application form that's got to be completed. There's other information that would have to be provided as part
We've
of
done it before.
Yeah,
okay, we've done it before. Do we recall the steps?
I don't remember.
Okay, so
It's in
Kyle, what is the steps?
Pretty basic, you hire somebody to do it. It's been done.
Okay, so I'm asking
I don't
Kyle.
think we need to hire anybody to do it.
Yeah.
Fill out the form.
Okay, so I'm asking Kyle.
Okay, first there's a pre-application consultation. You're gonna find this in 16596. There's a pre-application consultation with the planning board. You fill out the application for the permit, consult with the ZA as to the compliance requirements related to wetlands, et cetera, et cetera. The applicant will file the application with the zoning administrator. There's a certain number, most planning boards, I'm sure yours does, requires a certain number of copies or forms that are provided. The form will have all kinds of information that needs to be put on there. The map showing the wetlands, water courses should be on that. We really, I'm just gonna jump to the gun here.
Okay,
The engineer that's working on this,
so I will tell Dan at
Does this.
Colliers to do this.
Correct.
That's simple.
Yeah.
That's the simple answer. Thanks, Kyle.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Let Dan know. Okay. Perfect.
yeah, and he'll
They've
be,
done it 1,000 times.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sure. So that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if he does it by the 20th, we'll give him another.
So can you tell me
CAC, right?
again, Kyle, what the reason is? It's under the buffer? What
it's
is-
within, because,
Good.
yeah, it's within the 100-foot buffer, wetland buffer. Any activity that takes place within the wetland buffer
Yes.
requires a permit.
And where is the wetlands on?
Oh,
That I don't
there's
know.
a couple of them
That's
probably.
right, you have to look at the map.
Because we asked about that, I think already.
It may not be actually in the wetland, but it may just be in
It'd be
the
at the
buffer.
100-foot buffer.
Because there's a 100-foot buffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's throughout the whole town.
I think,
Yeah.
That might be up on top of that hill where those ponds are.
yeah, yeah.
There's maps, you just look at the map.
Okay, so let me, all right, I'll discuss that with Dan. Okay.
He should be, yeah, because I think it was AKRF that brought it to our attention, but.
Okay.
What about referral to the CAC? That's in the code too.
It does have to get referred to the CAC, you are correct.
Yes.
Once in a while.
All right. So that takes care of
The
that.
wetlands permit.
Yep.
That's up,
The wetlands permit.
has to go to CAC as well.
Yes.
It has to
Yes,
go
it
to
did.
the CAC.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, Dan will know that.
Dan will know that.
Okay, so then moving on to the ZBA meeting, which was held on April 15th. Chairman Frank Rattle called the meeting to order at 6:30. A motion was made to approve the minutes from the March meeting. All were in favor. The motion passed. Two items were on the agenda: the Alex Casertano residence on 20 Short Road, which is an addition to the house, and the Valley Farm Doodletown, which is a new garage altogether. Casertano application seeks 3 variances and a special use permit. Board member Katie Briggs acknowledged that she is a neighbor to the applicant. Anthony Frisenda, the architect for Ms. Casertano, presented plans for board review. The proposed addition is 25 by 27. The residence will remain 3-bedroom. The addition is 25 foot high below the 35-foot maximum allowance. It was noted that the existing residence is modest and will still be after the proposed addition. Frank made a motion to open public hearing. Alex made a second motion. The hearing opened. Howard asked if there were wetlands on property. There is not. No further comments from the public. Frank made a motion to close the public hearing and made a second motion. Hearing closed. Frank acknowledged that 149% increase of non-conforming use concerned him. All agreed that the character of the neighborhood would not be affected. The board also agreed that the existing house is small. Frank made a motion to declare this a type 2 action and to seek for review. Katie made a second motion. All were in favor. The motion passed. Frank made a motion to award a 55-foot side yard setback variance. Alex made a second motion. All were in favor. Motion passed. Again, a motion was made to award 149% area variance. All were in favor. The motion passed. Frank made a motion to award 5.4-foot side yard setback variance. Katie made a second motion. The motion passed. Frank made a motion to grant a special use permit. Second motion, all were in favor. The motion passed. The applicant needs to go to the planning board for site plan approval. The parties for Valley Farm garage application did not show. This was adjourned until the May meeting. Meeting adjourned at 6:53. Next meeting is May 20th.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Doug?
Okay, my notes on this are sketchy because I only was able to attend the planning board meeting through the Killeen Road portion, and then I had to give a presentation somewhere else.
Yeah.
Colliers represented the town board for improvements to Killeen Road. Project has been in the study and preliminary phases since late 21, early 22. Planning board attorney acknowledged that most of the grading and milling is does not require them to even us to go through the planning board. The additional drainage does. As discussed, most of the project falls under maintenance. It was planning board scheduled a public hearing for next month. The planning board also made a motion to not object to the town board's petition to be lead agency on this project. The next item on the agenda was Millbrook Special Farm for their subdivision of 20 acres on their property on Butts Hollow Road. That was issued a negative declaration, resolution adopt to approve the subdivision. Third item was Ray's custom training on 44, where he was applying for a permit for a 3-foot by 3-foot sign with 2 posts, classified as a type 2 action, referred to county planning with a public hearing scheduled for next month. The fourth item was the Singer property on 471 Butts Hollow Road, which is a lot line adjustment, transferring 2.76 acres from a 28 acre parcel to a 9.5 acre parcel from memory. Classified as type 2, no referral to county planning. Motion was made to waive the public hearing. Resolution in favor of this will be ready at the next meeting. The last item on the agenda was the Todd property, 3515 Route 82, seeking site plan approval for an addition to the house for her elderly parents. The current home is a pre-existing non-conforming due to a reduced front yard setback of only 65 feet instead of the 100 feet. The ZBA did grant a special permit pending site plan approval and a condition that only the parents would inhabit the addition. Again, this was a type 2 action referred to county planning with a public hearing scheduled for next month. Meeting was adjourned. And the other thing that I would like to bring up is Zoom. I think we're wasting our time and money on paying for Zoom and having it. We have technical issues every month. I've been on here for 5 months. We've had one person give a comment on Zoom at one planning board meeting. My idea, we still will have the meetings taped and recorded, and they'll be available on the YouTube channel the next day, but we'll just eliminate the Zoom portion of it.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, fine. We've had, actually, we've asked this question of council, and we were informed by some of our previous councilmen or councilors that we're one of the few that still do this as a result of overhang from COVID.
Sure.
But I like the idea. I mean, the village does what Doug is describing, and I don't see any reason why we can't.
Yeah.
Joe, the only thing I'm thinking of, I don't know what your take is on this, but your planner for ZBA, they typically appear virtually. Will that be an issue?
I don't know, because I don't know why they need to appear on Zoom yet.
Where are they
It
located?
might be out of convenience. So I don't know.
They around here?
I want to say, where are they? Are they in a meeting? Like, why do I don't know, but for some reason that rings a bell.
Well, let's find out and then we can
so I
move
just don't know.
forward with it.
But,
Unless
you
it's
know,
an
we
absolute
do,
necessity.
have problems, like even at the last panel board meeting, there was a problem. They had to
Almost.
get up and fix it.
Every
At the last board
And-
meeting.
Yeah.
problem.
And, so yeah, I, in saying that, we still want to record it. Would there be a problem with recording it straight out, or we would just record it?
I would
and
speak
then
with Pete for Video Ventures. He does
Yeah.
this for all his
Yeah.
other
Let's find out,
municipalities,
yeah,
We're
let's
the
find out
only
from
one
the
who's
planning
still-
board
yeah.
and let's find out from Video Ventures.
And the-
Sure.
Is it gonna save us $5 a month or is it gonna save us a lot of money?
And
Well, it's also gonna save us the hassle. Let's get
Oh, the
them
hassle. Oh, yeah.
Resetting Zoom.
Oh, yeah. And
People getting upset because they
they came
aren't
in
getting
late.
let in.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the cost of Zoom is like $220 a month. It's not a lot, but
but it's not,
not a lot.
it's not.
Something.
It's more,
It's something.
but it's a lot of work.
That would buy us a.
But it's very
Well,
exciting.
Yeah.
Is it gonna work?
Yeah.
And also, I think communities found, as we have found, if there are issues and people have questions or they have an issue, being present within the room is much more advantageous than trying to talk
Sure,
to a screen.
sure.
And sometimes resolution occurs much more easily
That's
when
right.
you're in the room than trying to do it through media.
Oh, absolutely.
But there is a section where people do talk at these meetings on Zoom and ask questions. And so that's part of the meeting and they get answered. And that happens all the time.
Yeah, but if we get rid of it, they'll have to come in person.
Right, and I also
I'm just
believe,
saying, that happens.
but I believe the village accommodates that by letting the public know that's watching. If you have questions, please submit it and we'll have an answer for you at the next meeting.
Or if you could submit them ahead of time, we'd
Right.
have an answer for you at this meeting.
Right.
I think the board is, I
I'm
think
only
all
saying
of,
that's what happens, that people do ask questions on Zoom. And
my
there's-
opinion is that all of these board members and the planning boards and the ZBA, all of the board members make an effort to show up. If you want to address the board, you should make the same
Okay, there's
effort.
another minor thing in the code for Zoom. You have to have a quorum present in the room but a board member can then get on Zoom and participate as a board member on Zoom. And that's happened as well.
I did last month.
It allows board members, such as you folks, for example,
Yeah.
or anybody else who can't make the meeting, as long as you get a quorum in the meeting.
Yeah,
Bob has done that.
Last month?
It takes you to this moment, but
Yeah.
you've done that.
But I
But I
think
could
if we,
get on Gary's
I
phone.
think if we
too.
do away with Zoom, that obviously will not be an option for a board member, but
To be on Zoom,
other
but
communities must have been faced with these issues and they overcame it.
Bob, I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to be absent for that meeting.
Oh.
You're just gonna have to be absent.
I know.
When I go away,
Break my
I
heart.
don't go on Zoom. I'm absent for the meeting.
yeah.
Okay.
Good idea.
All right?
So what's the resolution to get out, stop using
Well,
it?
she's gonna,
We're gonna
We're gonna
look at
check.
video
And then
ventures.
planning board and,
The planning board
the video.
consultant is almost always there,
Hey,
in person, so.
Yeah, right. And Alicia was on Zoom the last time, but they're
Yeah,
mainly,
usually
they're
Aaron's
mainly
there.
at the meeting.
I only have one thing. We have Matt now, who takes care of buildings and grounds and gives a pretty good report, so. I think I might have mentioned it last meeting or the meeting before last. But I go to the transfer station with brush and stuff, and I talk to Jimmy Brownell and Mr. Manzi all the time up there. And it's been brought to my attention that the transfer station compactor that we own, that compacts the garbage, is ancient. And they've been patching it up and it's still working. But it's a very expensive item. So we have to put it on our radar and figure out if we can get some grant money or something. But we're gonna have to find out what it costs to fix it. He keeps that place immaculate. It runs like a wristwatch.
Yep.
And the only other item that Jimmy brought up was the ground where they have a big trailer where they put the tires to keep them dry. And then they get recycled. The recycler comes. The ground is kind of caved in there and it needs to be repaired. Probably some mafia blocks and some blacktop. I'd like that permission to ask Joe if it's something the highway department can do for us. It's nothing that has to be fancy. It doesn't need any special approvals or anything like that. It's just a maintenance item. If he could do it himself, he would do it, Jimmy, but it's a little beyond them.
Yeah.
To, engineer that properly. So with your permission, I'll talk to Joe about that. And then I'm going to talk to Jimmy further about getting us some numbers, like what are we looking at to replace this compactor, and is the old one worth anything, things like that, so we can move forward.
Okay.
Keep that transfer station humming along. A lot
Yeah.
of people still use it.
Yeah.
We still get a lot of bag fees,
Yes.
right?
And they compliments on Jim Brunel
Oh,
and Nancy
yeah.
all the time,
All the time.
all the time.
Even,
People love to
and
go to
Joe
the transfer
Manzi
station
too.
in
Joe,
Washington.
Joe helps the people take their cardboard out, and they help them put their garbage in the compactor and the recyclables, and, they know everybody, and
Yeah.
it's a nice thing
It is
to
a nice
see.
setup.
Yeah, and some residents have stopped using Welsh altogether and just use the transfer station
Yeah.
as a garbage
Really?
disposal, because depending on how many people live in the house, it's cheaper.
Interesting. That's
Yeah.
good.
So that's the only report I have, is that
Okay.
we need to zero in on a few things up there and keep them. Lois can find us a extra $100,000 or something somewhere. I don't know. We'll find
Oh,
out.
shit. What this money we're saving on Zoom?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
$2,500 a year for the rest of our lives.
It's up.
2 years,
Well, this
that's
is pretty good
$5,000. Yeah, that's a big chunk.
Okay. So that concludes
It's gonna go well.
the main part of our meeting. We,
I have one other item, Mr. President, sorry. and I'm just putting this out there, my suggestion is gonna be that maybe this gets on the agenda for the next meeting to address, and perhaps maybe we have someone from the village to come over and address it. But I got an email from their attorney earlier this week advising that the village wants to reroute traffic away from Franklin Avenue. And this can be accomplished if trucks are required to use the old Route 44A that circumvents the village. DOT told the village that they can post signs redirecting traffic, but it would require an IMA with the town. It indicates in the email that there's perhaps maybe an agreement on this in principle.
I talked to Peter about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think we're all for it.
yeah.
What's an IMA?
An intermunicipal agreement.
Oh, okay.
So,
So didn't we, like, this was tried before.
Yes, it was.
And
Well, the reason it was turned down is the village would have to take over the road
Right,
for them to post the weight limit and signs, but no longer is that true, I guess, because Peter said that he had a meeting with the DOT and they said they'll be glad to help out.
Okay.
so then what I would recommend, if we could put this on the next agenda, and then this way it's been publicized,
Yes,
and then the board can just give or do a resolution that would authorize us. to execute.
intermunicipal agreement.
and invite the mayor over for that.
Thank you, Kyle.
Of course. Now, if that was to become the rule, and you've got Zoom and Google and all of that tells you what directions to take, and some tractor trailers, will they be stopping?
Well, it'll change on Google and everything. It'll say,
Within a day.
yeah,
Okay,
it'll change.
because boy, you go up by the library and both cars on both sides and those tractor trailers come
Yeah,
down the middle.
One
of
of
the
them
road.
had my wife's
I
car,
Who's gonna enforce
in
it?
March.
Oh, really?
I mean, I even have a problem.
Yeah, but nobody saw it and, somebody heard it, but they didn't see it.
But the
So-
enforcement is a big issue.
How do you enforce it?
Right.
Well,
Well, it's simple to enforce once you have the signs. The village cops will have to enforce it.
He's out there all the time.
Well, it's a letter to
Yeah.
the company up in New Canaan, the sheet rock company, the limestone company. Because those are the big ones that roll through 3 or 4 times.
The milk
a day.
trucks and the feed trucks and the
There's a
lumber
bunch of them.
trucks and.
Yeah, but I mean, they're the biggest number of trucks. And,
They want to get to 40 or 82.
82, yeah.
well, the intersection at the old 44A.
Yeah.
And 82. If you're
Taking a
coming
left.
from here and you gotta make a right onto 44A, the way
Yeah.
that kind of cuts back the truck that's,
That's a
in
tough
the
one.
future, DOT is gonna have to
Widen that.
cut that
Then
corner back a
we
little bit.
run the risk of Little Rest Road.
Well, that's what's gonna happen.
They're gonna take that,
They're gonna hang a right and they'll come down to my place and
right.
we get a bunch of that
That's a
now.
county road. That's got a bridge. Right behind the
Oh, yeah.
prep shop,
Yep,
Ruby's Prep Shop.
yep.
Didn't they use 9 partners, a while back? Trucks were going down
They
there.
were.
No, but there's a limit sign there now,
Oh,
so
the
they
limits
can't.
are up there now.
They were coming over South Road when that 44 bridge was being.
Oh, yeah.
done.
I mean, we need the trucks. I mean, they gotta roll, but,
And they're just going by what
oh, yeah.
it's telling them to do.
Oh, yeah, well, the shortest route.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for us? Yes.
Current question, but we are here to listen, as we said earlier. My name is Lisa Biazzi, and this is my husband, Louis Cassiano.
Nice to meet everybody.
Nice to meet
Nice to
everybody.
meet you, too.
Hello. We reside at 5515 Route 82. And we just want to, our attorney is not here. We have an enforcement issue with respect to
Okay.
building
yeah.
inspector and a
Okay,
zoning
yeah,
board
yeah.
permit. I just want to make sure that you got Mr. Gottlieb's letter.
Yeah,
Attorney's
yes,
letter.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'd like to ask Mr. Barnett a question, if that's okay.
It's okay with me, if it's okay with the board.
Sure.
If that's okay.
Yeah,
Do you
sure.
know when Mr. Iolando contacted Mr. Pryor, the owner of Arcadia Field?
I don't, and that's, I don't know if you were here for the earlier portion of the meeting when he did his report.
I did, we
And
were
I,
here.
yeah, okay, so, So that's why I asked, because I did get Mr. Gottlieb's letter yesterday, or today, or it might have been today or yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked about where he was with that. So I'm happy to hear he did make some sort of notification. I'll follow up with him and get the rest of the details and find out where it stands.
Okay,
I think we discussed, speaking even as soon as tomorrow.
okay, good. Because as of the 24th, the town certified about no communication, so we're very concerned about.
Yeah, so, but I'm glad to hear, apparently, from what he's reported, they did issue a stop work order, or something along those lines. So that's the first step of the, or that's a necessary step as part of the compliance process.
That was months ago. The stop
Maybe
work order.
there was, so I'll check in, I'll get more details from him, and then we'll go
So-
from there.
I don't know if I want to, like, you're aware that the building permit was revoked, right, Kyle? Okay, you are aware of that, okay.
Because we have no communication or information
Yeah,
about if there was letters out or anything.
Okay.
FOIA requests, there's nothing.
I'm aware of it because I was.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Right.
So, we'll get some more
Yes, you were
details.
there.
It's on, that's why I asked him about it. I did get the letter. We'll follow up and we'll take whatever necessary steps are prudent and responsible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe you can leave your contact,
Sure.
with Chrissy here. And, once Jonathan speaks to Kyle, maybe we can get you an answer,
That'd be
since
great.
you've been sitting here so
Absolutely.
nice and quietly all night.
Yeah.
No pistols or.
Yeah, all right.
201-741-751-7284.
Good night, ladies.
Good night.
Night, thanks Lois, thanks.
Thanks, Dave.
Email. Sorry to give Chrissy more to do, but
No,
that's the right thing to do, I think.
Yeah.
No.
I can actually read my squirrel letter. I'm the only one. I have it at 5515.
This is
Yeah.
much, I'm gonna, I can.
Do you have the number here of the town hall? Do you have any questions?
Because the other law's not really.
Okay, you can't get in touch with Jonathan, you can just the town clerk's office and you can ask any questions.
Yeah, well, Charlie has been in contact with the town.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. He couldn't be here tonight, so that's why we,
That's that.
February 18th, he's vacated, and we've just been waiting and waiting. It's an illegal structure. And if you saw the attachments to the letter, you see the glare that it's causing.
Metal further inside.
It's from an eyesore and
Yes.
for many
Piece
reasons,
of it.
so.
Yeah, we've been by it, I've been by it.
Oh, yeah. Flush it.
I'm familiar with the whole property there because I used to swim in the pond.
And,
when
Our little pond?
No, the pond inside
Inside.
Arcadia Field, which
Yeah.
that was, Adams, not Adams.
Good night, sir.
What's his name used to have? His parents lived there. He was a little-
Woody Adams?
Woody Adams. It was the Adams, property way back in the day, way back, yeah. And,
You need her email?
really nice people. My dad and I delivered a new,
I know where he is.
yeah,
Oh, I do. Absolutely.
Every year.
It's Carrie Whalen's old house.
yeah,
right.
yeah, Carrie Whalen.
I know it very well.
Carrie Tom.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah.
It's a great community, great area.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, thank you. Board.
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks for
coming in.
Yeah. Yes, nice meeting you too.
Yes, nice to meet everybody.
So,
Thank you for your
Howard, we
patience.
have, okay,
Not doing anything.
no.
Thank you very much.
Is your attorney gonna be there? I have a question for him. If he's going out, I'll ask.
No, he's gonna be here.
Okay, yes, I'll ask the question. It's not a secret question, so you can all hear it.
Howard, okay.
No balance probably, hold on. I will straighten out, maybe I shouldn't stay. You mentioned in the, what's it called, the Adam, not Adam,
You're making me
A
nervous.
case
You wanna
where you-
sit down before you ask me this question? You're making me.
Yeah, Howard, why don't you
Sit-
just
sit
sit right
behind.
here?
No,
Just sit-
no, upright, let me stay.
All right.
You mentioned there's a case where you get, the town could negate the
Monroe case.
the Monroe case, is that what it was called?
It's good, yes, it's good, right, the Monroe County, it's called the Monroe County case. It's a fairly well-known case.
Yeah.
It's been around for a while. And basically the case says is that it exempts municipalities from the applicability of the zoning laws against them. So you might see it, you see it a lot of times where particularly if there are certain municipalities, like sometimes, well, a perfect example is the one here. It's better than the one I was just gonna give you, where, the town board has the ability. It really hinges upon whether or not the town board or the municipality that's making the application has the ability to do their own environmental review. And under those circumstances, it's presumed in many cases, such as with the town board, because we have our own engineers and so forth, that as long as there's certain criteria, I believe there's like 9 of them. Don't ask me what all 9 of them are. Okay, thanks.
Is that on the internet? You can.
Yes,
find it.
oh, yeah.
Absolutely. It's on the internet.
Monroe.
It's called the Monroe County case. Yep. And you'll find it, and it's all over the place.
Never heard of that one before. Sound interesting.
It's been around.
Oh,
a
we've
while.
mentioned it before.
So have you?
Yeah, over the years. So you've heard it. You just
Well,
forgot.
just,
It's on one of your tapes, Howard.
yeah. All right, I'll get out of your way now.
Yeah, thanks,
All
Howard.
right, Howard,
right.
have a good
You
night.
okay?
Thank you.
Yeah.
To go out? You sure?
Yeah. Sometimes if I sit too long,
Your knees,
Yeah.
I stiffen up a little
yeah,
bit.
your knees and your hip.
All right.
Yeah, and then these stupid shoes I have to put on, I can't find my own shoes anymore. Yeah,
It's all right.
good for walking.
It's a big business.
All right, guys.
All right.
Howard, just close that door when you go out,
Yeah.
please. Thank you.
Carl, another quick question. We went through the rec employees and so on as a resolution. Why is that necessary?
Because that's a type of action that does require the full town board to make a decision on.
So do you have to make it, so how does that, if they're hired as employees,
Mhm,
and Lois literally puts them into the retirement system, no lifeguards,
mhm.
why don't we have resolutions for all of our employees when we hire?
Well, typically, when she does that, doesn't she have a list of who the people are?
We do that at the reorg meeting,
Yeah, right, right, exactly.
But-
And then
every time she does to her summer hiring, a resolution's required.
I,
Because she asked me that, I'm just trying to get
yeah,
clarification why.
I think it's best practice because it's an expenditure of funds, an expenditure of money.
Okay,
And so under those circumstances, it's probably best practice for the town board to just.
so I'll tell her that, why
Yeah.
we do that. Okay, great, thank you.
Sure thing.
Okay, motion to go into executive session,
For purposes of
personnel.
Okay, let me just turn this on.
Did we make the motion?
Somebody make. I
I'll
made the motion.
second.
Joe second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.